thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a very special look at the TFCon Chicago exclusive Masterpiece Axis. Now, if you remember, some time ago, I reviewed the TFCon Toronto exclusive Masterpiece Shafter, which was a repaint of the X-Transbot Masterpiece Crank. Now, utilizing Crank's kind of remold, that being their Masterpiece Stax figure, TFCon Chicago has repainted that Stax to give us Axis. So very similar looking design, but with some minor tweaks to it. And thanks to Proto Man, I'll get into what this figure is really meant to kind of homage. But for the packaging, as you can see, really nice image here. You got the TFCon logo, you got 2014 Axis. I come around here to the side, you got that image carrying through, you got the nice X-Transbot sticker that they use to tape it actually shut. Come around to the other side, you got another image, TFCon. TFCon! And as you can see, this is TFCon.com. I'd encourage you to check this out because, as I said, this is their very first United States-based convention, which is pretty exciting when you think about it. You come around here to the back, and you got some tech specs with his intelligence. You have his allegiance, which is the Destrons, his function, the Night Ambush General. And then when you take a look at the bio, again, you have a really nice read-up on this character. And right up front, it says, forged from the same C-14 body type as Shafter. So there's a lot of similarities with it. Now, setting him there, in addition to the figure, you also will get this really nice comic book. And as you can see, you got the TFCon Toronto dates. But this is, as I said, specific to the TFCon Chicago convention, which takes place this weekend, starting October 24th and going to October 26th. So again, if you are in the Chicago area, I would absolutely recommend checking this out. Really very cool. But then on the image here, you do see the Shafter as well as Axis. You open it up, you got some advertisements such as Big Bad Toy Store, and then a really nice classic looking image to their the actual comic. I mean, it really has a very old school look to it. I absolutely dig it, and a great story, again done by none other than Proto Man, so you get a real great read up, and the art just looks simply terrific. Like I said, I really absolutely love that throwback to the vintage kind of comic books. It's really very neat. But that's about it for everything that you get here. So without further ado, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Axis opened up and out of its packaging, and much like all third-party companies, you do get this really nice collector card, very heavy cardboard thickness to it with the bio and the tech specs here on the back. You also do get his instructions. Now, he actually transforms a little bit different than Shafter did. Really, it is just a matter of rotating his cab section here, so we're not going to touch on the transformation too much. We're just going to kind of go through basically the different modes. In case you do need help with the transformation, I'll put a link down in the video description where you can check that out. As you can see, he does come with two chrome weapons. Unfortunately, I no longer have Shafter. I actually gave it away to a kid who went to TFCon in Toronto and wasn't able to get Shafter. He couldn't afford it. So I sent out mine to him, which he really did appreciate and he likes a lot. So I can't really do a side-by-side comparison, unfortunately, but again, that video that I did is up there, so if you do want to see some of those differences, I guess you could just watch that video after this one. The weapons do store here. You can peg it in the trailer hitch. You can also come around here to the bottom and you can peg it underneath there. I don't think it's a very good storage. It doesn't work very well, but that same storage aspect is still there. He does still have the trailer hitch here, which can be used in conjunction with Masterpiece 10's trailer. You got the two little slots right there that you just plug that on there, but overall, it is basically the exact same looking vehicle mode here. Not too much changes. The chrome stacks here are a little bit different. If you remember, Shafter and Crank had the square top here at the section. These are more rounded, which I like a lot better. Generally speaking, I really dig this mold, or this coloration for this mold, a whole lot more than I did any of the other recreations. The black, the gold, or not the gold, the purple, you got the red here. I mean, it's a very Nemesis Prime-ish look, and I really think it looks great, especially with the chrome. It just really pulls that black out. It just nicely captures everything. You got some nice painted detail here on the back with the tail lights. It always kind of rotates a little bit, but I mean, you do have some assembly. These little bits right here have to be pegged in. These little bits here, they do remove. One thing that I will say is because they're coated in this chrome, I did actually have to shave a little bit here on the rounded section just so that I could get that in there. and then come on, get in there a little bit. Maybe I need to shave a little bit more off of it. I don't want to do too much, but you gotta do that a little bit so that you can actually get that in there. But overall, I mean, it's nice looking. I really do like it. It's a nice representation of, well, kind of what they're going for. This is meant to homage TFCon from G1's little buddy Full Tilt. And unfortunately, I don't have a G1 TFCon. That's one that I've always wanted to get, but I can never find a good price on it. But Full Tilt is the little car. Remember, TFCon had the little car that could basically stand up. Then he had a little tank. The little car, Full Tilt, is who this is meant to, I guess, kind of homage. So you basically are getting a masterpiece Full Tilt, which I like. I kind of, it looks like that's a little bit separated there along the side. That side not so much, but that side you can see a little bit of a gap right there. But you know, actually I can probably just screw that back in. That's all it is. Just needs the screw tightening. But I mean, I really do like it. Like I said, it's a very simple figure in terms of the coloring and everything, but it just looks really good. I think it comes across very nicely. Now, like I said, the transformation is exactly the same with the exception of the cab, so we don't really need to go through that. So through some movie magic, we're going to go from Axis looking like this. Now, as I said, the only thing that's really different about the transformation is the way that you actually do the backpack here. If you remember with Shafter, it was kind of like this. All you have to do with this now, though, is rotate it around, and then you bring it up around, you kind of extend it, and then you fit this underneath here. It's kind of a pain to get. Even Shafter's was a bit of a pain to get these little wedges in there, but you get it. And that you have to complete his look for the robot mode. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can take these. He's got a couple different storage options for this. You can peg it here on the side, and he has a little forearm cannons, or you can just make it look more like pipes or the stacks figure, or whatever they call it. I don't remember. And you can peg it here on the back, which I actually like. I think that looks a little bit cooler to me, and I dig that sort of aesthetic. And then you got his other guns right here, but here you have him in his robot mode. One thing that I will say is that, again, he is a very back-heavy figure, so getting in him a stand, if you have weak hips here, he will slowly, over time, kind of fall back, and trying to get that position could be potentially pretty bad. Now, mine are actually pretty good. You can see that they stand fairly nicely, or he stands fairly nicely, so not much in terms of bad quality on this one. Hopefully that's indicative of all of them, but you can see if you don't have it positioned properly, he will slowly, I'm trying to see if is it actually doing it? Maybe if it's a little bit leaning back. There it goes. You can see it's slowly going. You have to have it just balanced perfectly, and unfortunately because of that, it kind of limits his posability. But that was true with all of these figures. The whole mold is that way. I really wish that they put like ratchet joints here in the hips. I think that would have been just a much nicer way of balancing that figure out. So and I think that, honestly, the more that you move the hips, it might actually make it a little bit weaker over time. As you can see, it's kind of sliding back more now, so it requires some finesse as you're doing it, and that's unfortunate because it really is a great looking figure. I really think that, like I said, this is the best coloration for this mold. I think it just works absolutely perfectly. The black, you got the red windows, you got the really nice deep purple. Everything just looks absolutely wonderful on it. The chrome works out very well. You can see here in his robot mode where a lot of the mold changes. I think there's some differences here in the chest and everything, but the biggest difference is coming up here on the shoulders and even the head. The shoulder itself is completely redone. As you can see, he's got these little fake wheels on here, which again, really nicely homages that G1 toy. If you remember, that had wheels right up on there, so it looks great. And then again, the head is wicked cool on here. I mean, it's just very simple. It's got the mask on there. Zooming in to see that, I mean, that is a really cool looking sculpt. Now, the neat thing is, you come around here to the back, and he actually has a little bit of a switch right here that it's going to be kind of hard to show, but when you switch it up, it makes his visor come down. It's kind of tough to do, so there we go. And then you now have his visor look, which, again, absolutely terrific. So you have options in display preferences that you can recreate here. I mean, it just really is a absolute wonderful looking figure. Like I said, the colors just really pop on this. And then with his guns, you got the little tabs on the actual handles that you open up his fists, get your nail in there if you have to, wedge those in there, and it locks on to some little holes on the inside here that really nicely, securely holds the guns in place. Doing that on this side as well. Get that right up in there. Kind of tab that in, bring the hands around. And I mean, the guy just looks just really very cool. Like I said, the colors just absolutely pop on this. And the only thing that I wish, like I said, that was different on it was the way that they incorporated the hips. I think that that would be a much better use of a ratchet joint than some other figures have gotten. But you can see that you can position it. You just gotta like spread his legs and get some creativity going with him. But he looks amazing. Now, for his articulation, it is the same that we've gotten previously. The head is on a little bit of a ball joint, so you get a nice up, down, left, and right motion with it. The back section here kind of gets in the way, but not too much. The shoulders here on ball joints, they move in and out slightly right there. They move forward and back. They rotate at the upper part of the bicep. They got 2 elbow joints. The wrists here rotate 360 degrees. The waist actually rotates, but because of these back pieces right here that kind of get in the way, you're not going to get a full range of motion with it, but it's plenty good. The hips move forward and back. They move in and out. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. They bend here. Very stiff joints here at the knee, but they bend nicely. And then the ankles have a full range of motion. Forward, back, in, out. You got a little bit of a foot pivot as well. I mean, this to me is the best. I've said it many times, but this is the best look for this mold. Even the regular crank figure and even the shafter, all of them, this is the best representation. It just has that cool of a look. I mean, I really don't know what it is about black and purple and red. When you put it all together, just looks good on a toy. But as I said, this is the 2014 Chicago TFCon exclusive. So it will be available at the convention itself. So if you're going, absolutely guys, this is a figure that I would really pick up. And if you have any quality control issues, like for example, maybe you do get a little loose hips or something like that. If you have that at the actual convention, you could probably swap it out. I would imagine they would do some swap out for a figure that's not defective like that or something. I would imagine they do that there, but this guy is terrific and well worth picking up. So don't forget TFCon Chicago this coming weekend, October 24th through the 26th. But beyond that, that's about it, guys. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. And again, a very special thanks to Daniel, aka Proto Man, for making this review possible. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later.